Hey guys, so we're going to start first video domain, right? Some of the first couple things in there, just want to give you guys a quick overview of what domain is, how to find it, all that good stuff. So I got a couple examples that we're going to go through real quick, but basically domain, in case you guys forgot, is the actual definition is all possible values, all possible x values that can be plugged into a function, right? To kind of simplify that down, it's what numbers are actually going to work, right? So if you plug in a number and the function becomes, the solution is not real, or it's an undefined number or something like that, then that number isn't a part of the domain, right? So let's kind of go through just real quick and take a look at a couple examples and make sure you got it, right? So we look at this first one, and we have y equals x squared plus 5. Okay, so just remember where you guys want to start with all real numbers, right? And work and see what you have to exclude. So if you think about it, y equals x squared plus 5, is there any possible number that you cannot plug into it, right? Is there any number that we have to exclude from the domain? No, right? Because I can plug in whatever number I want, and it's going to, the function, the y value is going to be a real number, right? So that's gonna work. Okay, if we move over to this one, okay, can it be all real numbers again? No, because what's gonna happen anytime you have a fraction? What happens when you have a fraction? Well, there are times when the fraction is undefined, right? When your denominator is 0, right? So if your denominator is 0, you can't divide by 0, that's undefined. So whatever number makes the denominator 0 has to be excluded from your domain, right? So if you have a fraction, just take the denominator, whatever it is, set it equal to 0. Okay, so then your domain is that x can't equal -5. Okay, and just remember when you say that, that basically means that it can be any other number except -5. Okay, now you could write you can write that out and say it can be any number except -5, but really that's all that it takes. Okay, now I know I'm doing some really basic examples, but I'm just trying to give you guys the essential ideas. Okay, square roots. Okay, think about what happens with the square root. What can't you do with a radical, right? You can't take the square root of a negative number, okay? So that means that we have to make sure whatever's underneath our square root, which in this case is 2x minus 3, we know that has to be greater than or equal to 0, okay? So same idea, take that to solve it. So there's your domain, okay? We can't plug in a number less than 3/2, right? Like if we plug in 1, it's gonna give us a -1, doesn't work, okay? So again, I know I kind of simplified things a little bit, but I just wanted to give you guys the basic idea, okay? Start with all real numbers. If there's a fraction, right, your denominators can't equal 0, right? If there's a square root, right, whatever's underneath the square root can't be negative. So just use those two basic ideas and you should be able to solve all your